Now, listen up.
3, 2, 1.
It's showtime.
That's great.
This is ridiculous.
99.3 The Truth.
You can't handle the truth right now.
Ooh.
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
Let's do it.
Hit it. It's time for Mac's World.
And here we go.
Everybody, let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Call Mac 244-0077 or text 809-0993.
It's showtime, everybody! Showtime!
Exclusively on 99.3 The Truth.
All right, good afternoon. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. It's 7 minutes after 3 o'clock on the 18th day of May in the Lord's year 2016. I'm J. Michael McCoy. And today we're going to get right into it because I think it's important that we get right into it because we, the people, we, the culture, we, the creation of an amazing creator are getting slapped upside the head hardly. And it's that I'm sorry, but it's one of my pet peeves. So we probably talk about it more than you want to talk about it on this show. And if you need to tune away today, I'll give you a permission slip from the principal. But we have two situations here in Des Moines. One is with the mural that was whitewashed down in Des Moines. Apparently, the Des Moines Public Schools gave permission to these students to put up a large graffiti painting, which I love. I don't have a problem with them. And it was it was in honor of blacks and Hispanics and their heritage. And the city is claiming, and the only reason I say that is I'm going to say something I never say. Are you ready? Bob, don't fall off your chair when I say this, okay? I kind of agree with Reka Basu. Where's Lightning? Lightning's got to be here somewhere. Wow, I didn't get hit by lightning.
I'm getting up off the floor.
I'll bet you are.
That looked like it hurt, Bob.
I don't agree with everything she says, even in this article, but she says the timing is uncanny. A giant public mural by the Des Moines students showcasing pride in minority heritage was whitewashed over the same day an alarm was sounded on the struggles of minority students in Iowa. I think it is uncanny. It's a heck of a coincidence. Or, as people in my life used to say, what a coinky-dink. Then at the same time, you've got a Des Moines school bus driver who's caught texting on a... So there's no doubt that she was doing it. She tells a Channel 8 reporter that it was a bad thing for her family that day, and she never does it any other time. But she said the reason they got fired, because she got fired for it. You know, bus driver texting while she drives. I don't know. Is that your job over that? I don't know. I mean, this whole texting thing is brand new. You know, I think texting while driving is really difficult. I think you should always focus on the road. So I think we ought to get rid of baby seats in the back seat. We have to get rid of drive-through McDonald's and other places, because how in the heck can you eat while you're driving, but you can't text while you're driving? I know, you may disagree with me on this, or you may say, well, there's a big difference. I would tell you no, there isn't a big difference. There may be some small differences between texting on a phone and dealing with your kids in the back seat, or texting on the phone and eating a Bebop's double cheeseburger with extra pickles. But it's a little difference. What'd you say?
I said that was a very specific burger.
Well, that's because I had one for lunch.
Oh, they are good, though.
They are good. What makes Bebop so good?
And it smells like so. I mean, it just smells so great. Yeah.
So anyway, after all this goes on, this woman's name is, well, it looks to me like it's Jackie Gibson, but she pronounces it differently. It's Jacque. What is that? Jacque. Isn't that Jackie?
It looks like it to me.
It could be.
She told KCCI she loves driving a school bus. The 18-second video shows her texting was the only time it happened in her 10-year career. Yeah, officer, I'm sorry you picked me up drunk. This is the only time in my life I ever drove drunk. No, seriously, officer, I really. She says that she lost her job not because she was texting while driving, but because she was black. Max, she didn't really say that. You're just reading into that. Jebediah, run the audio, please. Let's hear it in her own words.
I acknowledge that may be dangerous, but that's not something that I do. I had a family situation going on that day, and it just happened.
Jacque Gibson says she loves driving a school bus, and the 18-second video showing her texting behind the wheel should not define her 10-year career, the last 4 with Des Moines Public Schools.
We have the hardest job in the Des Moines Public School District, the bus drivers. We're dealing with a lot.
Gibson says she's a good driver because she has patience and can get along with kids from different backgrounds and with different personalities.
I feel like it's their loss that they lost me as a good driver, because the way that drivers come near, and going, I was a very good driver, so it's their loss, not mine. I can find a job anywhere.
She says she's never texted while driving a bus before and feels like a suspension would have been more appropriate rather than being fired after what she calls her first strike.
Other drivers have done things. They were not black, so they got away with it. They got a slap on the wrist.
Are you
because
able to
I was
pause
black,
that,
they wanted to make
Jebediah?
an example out of me. That's exactly.
Okay, thank you. Just back up the mouse about 10 seconds, because I want to hear that again. I want to make sure that we hear this in her words.
After what she calls her freak.
Other drivers have done things. They were not black, so they got away with it. They got a slap on the wrist. Because I was black, they wanted to make an example out of me. That's exactly why I got fired.
Des Moines police today said they would likely not pursue any criminal charges in connection with the incident.
I don't think at this point a ticket thing that termination hasn't taken care of.
515-244-0077. Phone lines are ringing. Jebediah's getting ready. Get your voice on the air because it's your voice we want to hear. Also, Bob is... You know, I always say you're manning the Service Legends Truth text line, but you more than man it. You massage it. You nurture it. You care for it. You respond to it.
Yes.
It's like a newborn child in Grandpa's arms.
Yes, that's why I'm usually out of it if you turn around and ask me a question, because I'm going, what are you
You're just
talking
saying
about?
that yesterday, because yesterday I said something you weren't paying attention, or maybe here, let me put it this way. Yesterday, I asked you a question, and it was an inappropriate time to ask you because you were doing your job on the text.
Yeah.
How about that?
I like that.
Yeah, giving you all the glory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I do have a chat comment,
All right.
and it's from Army Brad. I'll tell you
Oh,
that.
Army Brad, 7-star General and Secretary of Defense in Mac.
Similar accident numbers to drinking and driving.
Really?
So if the video was her drinking while driving the bus, what would you say?
They didn't fire me because I was drunk. They fired me because I was drunk and black. I'm sorry. I don't. My filters kind of fall off. Chris Roloff is here, station manager. He's, my filters kind of go, the training wheels come off the trike when I actually hear a black person say, this happened to me because I was black. I despise racism. I've been in the middle of it. I don't want to sound arrogant here, but I've been on the wrong side of racism and had that poke over and over and over and over and over and over. I've been called a racist. People would business me a racist. In the end, guess what? I was found innocent. Charges dropped. I'm sorry, Mr. McCoy. We didn't have the facts straight. Meanwhile, there's a year of horrible memories for myself and my family. So I get to talk about this a little. I've earned my stripes. Okay, if you want to talk to somebody about prison reform, you don't talk to somebody who's never been in prison. You talk to somebody who's been in prison. If you want to talk to somebody about being a victim of racism, you talk to somebody who's been a victim of racism. Here I've got a former, thank heavens, a former Des Moines public school bus driver saying that other people have done the same thing I do, or did, but because I'm black, they fired me.
Just for point of clarification, she did not say that they text and drove, however you say that. They just said they've done other things wrong and they didn't get fired. It was very clear that she did not say that they have text and driven.
All right, let's go to the phones where Bill from Des Moines, he's a truck driver. Bill, you're live in Max World. How you doing today, Billy?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. Nice to have your voice. So what do you think of this?
4:33 this morning, I about fell out of my chair when I heard her say that. Well, I did fall out of my chair. I'm a truck driver, and if I get caught texting, big fine. Then the more I get caught, the bigger the fine. The same with, I'm driving down the road right now. I got a hands-free device on. I'm watching the road. I get caught talking on the phone without that. First time, I think it's a $1,500 fine, and then it goes up from there, and the company can get fined also. So let's just, and I couldn't believe that the cops aren't going to give her the ticket. Give her the ticket. She's obviously guilty. And she got fired for texting while driving. Not because of her skin color. I just, that drives me insane. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, Bill, you and me both. Yeah. All right. Billy, thank you very much. 515-244-0077. This is another example. And I know I bring them to you. Maybe you are sick and tired of it. Maybe it's too often. If it's too often, let me know. I mean, this is your show. I want to do what you want me to do. But this is racism backwards. We'll talk about it.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
Hey everybody, I brought Northern Lights Pizza! And it's got Graziano sausage!
Rockton Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for the opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens. Rock on. This is Pat McManus for Rockton Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live. From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
21 minutes after 3/21, 18th day of May in the Lord's year 2016. We're going to give away 4 tickets to play in the Ames Golf Tournament, which includes 4 free lunches. And we're going to do that later on this hour. So just hang in there. I got to tell you, I tell you about Seth Walker. And I want you to know, and you ask any friend of mine who's a realtor, and they'll get their lip all bugged up and say, yeah, he won't use his friends. He uses this guy that he only knows through business. He does business with business people, and he friends with friend people. That's right. Seth is not my friend. We are friendly to each other.
Sure, yeah. Nice guy.
But I hired a realtor. I'm looking for a property right now for our family. And Seth is on it, baby. I mean, he has texted me, or not text, email. He has emailed me like 6 links to different properties. And right away, I mean, like within hours. And he's ready to get in a car with me and go out and look at some of these. And of course, I say, because I know how busy real estate people can get, I say, no, just let me drive by first. Let me do the walk around. And then if I think it's something I want to see the inside. But, in today's world, you can see the inside on the internet, on the Google, as Bradshaw would say. Yeah, it's on the Google. So I just want to tell you, if you're looking for a property, you're thinking about buying a property, and you know what? Property buying is not like buying shoes or bebops. You don't just wake up one morning and say, I think I want to buy another house. Let's do it today. It takes time to find the right property, get it financed right, get it insured, make sure the title is clear, all these things. So if you're thinking that maybe this year by Christmas, maybe you and your family should be in a new house, maybe you're expecting another one, start now. Start now and let Seth find you the perfect house for the perfect price, for the perfect financing, for the perfect family. Give Seth a call, 577-3728. All right, 515-244-0077. That's the voice line, and the Service Legends Truth text line is 515-809-0993. You got any texts over there, handsome?
Yes, I do. Okay, the text is, those who scream racism are the biggest racists.
All right, let's go to, speaking of racists, let's go to the phone where Frank the Verse is standing by. Frank, how are you?
Listen, you wouldn't be a complete day without your resident bigot racist.
Yeah, I don't know what I mean, I'm so sad you're not here.
Okay, now let's...
I'm not used to this room smelling this dirty, because when you're here, it's clean.
I'd hate to interject any biblical principle into this Christian talk radio program.
Yeah.
But, there's a principle in the Bible, to whom God gives much, he expects much. And to who the state gives much responsibility and duty, they expect more than just the average Joe on the street with a operator's license. As someone who's held a chauffeur's and a Class B CDL with passenger's endorsement and air brakes since 1979, I can speak to this because I hold one.
All right.
I've drove limousine, I've drove school bus, I've drove all kinds of things where it required me to be responsible for other people's lives besides mine. Now, when I'm behind the wheel of my own car, I can do all kinds of reckless baloney. But when you are, when you have the safety of others at mind, there's several things you don't do. You don't drink. You don't text. You don't go blowing across a railroad crossing without stopping and opening your door to make sure there's no train coming. You don't mess around with certain things when you're, when you have the lives of other people in your hands. So this woman, it has nothing to do with race. I got a buddy who used to work at the Des Moines School District who was a monitor on the bus, and he probably knows this woman and could probably tell me if she's done something like this before because he worked for them about 15 years as a monitor. So I hope she ain't shooting out the first time she's ever done this, because I'm sure there are bus drivers down there at the Des Moines Dispatch that might say otherwise. But one other thing I wanted to mention is, since when did destruction of public or private property become art?
Well, that's the story we're talking about, Frank. So you are correct. But remember, we can't call this destruction, and thank you for calling. We can't call this destruction because they were given permission. And I'll get to that story in a minute. They're kind of the same vein. Rekha Basu, in what is she? She doesn't say. She assumes. No. She implies. No. She insinuates that perhaps this painting over this mural was done to focus on another struggle of minority students in Iowa that was hitting the news last week. And I think that was the story about the young man in Iowa City that felt he had been he was beaten by some white guys, and he was claiming that they yelled racial slurs at him. And in fact, that was not the case. They proved that, and the charges were, in fact, he could be charged with making a false report to the cops.
She may be referring to the other story about the education, students not doing as well, African American or minority students not doing probably as well. I would imagine that's what, because that report also came out just recently that minority students are not doing as well in Des Moines public schools, and they blamed the school system, right? That they're not effectively teaching the minority groups. School system.
Hey, government schools, administrators, supervisors, teachers. Let me tell you what's wrong with your government schools. Can I please? Do I have your permission? Just. If you're listening to this program as a regular Whistle Dixie or something, I just want to talk to school administrators and teachers. First of all, if you're a teacher, this is not your fault. Just you're getting thrown under the bus. It's just one more thing you have to deal with as a teacher, and I think it sucks. But to those people who say that minority students don't do as well because they're black and blame it on the school system, I have your answer. Would you like to know the answer? There is an answer. There is one single answer. It's a 3-lettered answer that would change the entire public government school systems. Are you ready? Can you handle it? I can't handle the truth. God. Put God, the Creator, the Sovereign Lord, back in our public schools. Start teaching kids for their Creator and their Father in heaven. You don't have to mention Jesus' name. It doesn't have to be a religion. I'm okay with that. But God, put God back in school. I pledge allegiance to this flag and to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. By the way, Chris, would you just make the point that I did not read that? That came out of my little
That's right. That is lodged deep in your brain.
Itty-bitty Nebraska government school upbringing. So if you really want to solve the problem that minority students aren't getting as good an education as other students, if you really want to solve the problem, why don't you try this? Rather than spending billions of dollars on education and programs and research and studies, just do this simple thing. Just say, God exists, and we need to learn to respect him. And when you respect your Creator, you learn to respect your parents, you learn to respect your teachers, and when there is respect, there is advancement. Remember, without relationship, rules equal rebellion. Rules without relationship equal rebellion. Rules without a relationship with mom and dad. Rules without a relationship with God. Rules without a relationship with the teachers equal rebellion. These students, I don't care what color their skin is, you seem to make a big deal out of it. You seem to make it my fault and administration's fault because they're what? Ready? Here you go. Here it is. Because they're racist. They just don't want black children to get as far in this world, so the man's gonna hold them down. That's it. Really? It's 2016. Luther King did his gig. You don't get to claim racism anymore. Oh, a couple white guys beat up a black guy and call him the N-word. That's a hate crime. That's racism. But we have a black president. Well, technically he's white. I don't know if you knew this, but technically, when you're born of a white and a colored, doesn't matter what color who is, but if the mother is the race you take. And Barack Obama's mother was white. I don't care. We've advanced so far in race, and it seems like in the last 7 years since Obama's been in office, there's 2 things we don't know. Well, 3 things we don't know. We don't know who God really is and the truth. Which through more. And race relations have gone through the toilet. Unbelievable. Like never before. I guess that's what we get, huh? 515-244-0077. That's the phone line. It's your voice I'd like to hear. Also, the Service Legends Truth text line is 515-809-09.
Key to the other challenges that I think students face today in the public school system is not so much that God has been removed from the public school, but I think they face challenges in the home. And I think you did point this out. You know, we see a rise of a lot of single parents raising kids. You have, and what that really means is that single parent, whether it's a mother or father, probably doesn't have a lot of time when the kid does come home, when the child or children come home from school, to invest in that relationship there to help them with their schoolwork. Kids aren't getting the needed education or the needed assistance in their education that they require and that they need. Tutors are probably overworked. And, you know, a young student, if I'm in middle school and I'm struggling in school, the last thing I want is a mentor or a tutor. I'm not going to seek that out, most likely. I'm going to reject that because I'm fine not doing well in school. I don't care. I'm a kid. I don't know that this is going to affect me in the long term. And it's very difficult. And for people to, not difficult, but it presents a challenge and a call to action that other teachers and church organizations and people that have a passion about educating the next generation of children come alongside these students and seek them out. If any kid is doing poor in school, that they seek them out, build a relationship with them, find out what their needs are. Because oftentimes, in fact, most of the time, I would say it's not purely just a matter of the color of their skin, but a lot of times it's more about their where they are economically and the opportunities they have at home. System. And Mac, you and I talked about that when we were both kids growing up, that we were in school, we were in classrooms with 30 plus students. That's one teacher to 30. That student to teacher ratio is pretty out of whack. It's difficult for one person to manage 30 people and educate all of them, because each one of those kids, they're boys and girls. Yes, there are 2 kinds of human beings in the world, by the way, boys and girls, just 2 kinds. Side note there. Boys and girls in the classroom that need specialized attention in order to be educated. And it's very difficult for a public school, for any teacher. 30 different children with all kinds of different needs and challenges when it comes to them being educated.
This woman, Jackie Gibson, claims she was fired because she was black. Because, quote unquote, other drivers have done things wrong. Was she fired because she was black? Or was she fired because she was texting while driving? And in this culture right now, that is unacceptable. 515-244-0077 and the Service Legends Truth text line 515-809-0993. Next hour, Luke Tim, and proof that society is not going downhill. So says he. It's next on The Truth.
Northern Lights Pizza's amazing garlic butter makes amazing breadsticks. Now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza. I'm Brian Leach, owner of Service Legends, and my position is Chief Talent Officer.
I'm Nicholas Wonderscheid.
I am Bernie Homs.
And I'm the Service Manager. Marketing Director and Client Relations Manager.
Everything that we do is about ensuring that we exceed your expectations.
Our clients are important to us. 100% satisfaction.
We're not just focused on heating and cooling. That's the easiest part of our job, actually, is fixing furnaces and air conditioners.
Everyone that we come in touch with, we want to improve lives.
Bottom line is, we've got our installation guarantees, 25% energy savings guarantee, comfort guarantee, temperature selection guarantee, property protection guarantee.
100% satisfaction guaranteed. Fixed rate or it's free.
All of those guarantees are backed up with a 100% money back guarantee to hold ourselves accountable to making sure that you get what you're after.
Just fix them problem today. If they have another problem 5 days down the road, it's still fixed rate or it's free.
We use what's called straightforward pricing. Our technicians are going to give you an exact to-the-penny price on what it's going to take before they move forward with any repair. That way you know what to expect.
It's the same price every day.
No surprises.
If you get off work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you come home, you realize that, oh, my furnace is broken. Now you need to call somebody out that night. You shouldn't have to pay more for that.
We're guaranteeing service 24/7.
We run afternoons, evenings, nights, weekends. We're staffed to work that.
Phone rings at 3 in the morning. You'll get one of our representatives answering the phone every time.
We're not sending you out to Timbuktu in some call center. It's our Service Legend team members, our mission control team.
I'll take a call anytime.
And then they answer the phones the same way during the day as they do at night.
It's a great day at your service company. How can we make you smile?
That's the only way to provide true 24-hour service.
When you're able to let somebody actually live in their home safely when they weren't able to do that before, where they don't have to stay up at night and worry about, is the heat going to come back on? Are we going to freeze the pipes? Is the baby in the room next door going to be sick because they got too cold? When you're able to help somebody overcome challenges like that, that's impacting a life. That makes a difference. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
I love the team. I love the people that I work with.
We have fun, but we work hard.
I call them my ambassadors of legendary service. If you could just envision what that is, that's who we're sending to your home.
They literally will call in, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I want to talk to your manager. And I get on the phone, they're like, that technician that was at my house was the greatest technician ever. That's cool to me.
We want to brighten people's days.
Every person that we have going into the house has gone through an extensive background check.
Drug testing, we have a very thorough interview process that 1 out of 140 people make it through.
If we promise you something, that's what you're going to get, no matter what.
We're here when you need us to protect the safety and comfort of your family.
If you're not happy, we're going to make it right.
If we're willing to put 100% money back guarantee on what we do, what type of work do you think we do?
Give us a call. We're there for you 24/7, 365 days a year.
Enough said.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
3:38, 22 minutes before the top of the hour. Top of the hour, Salem Radio Network News. And then lead pastor. He's really the only pastor, but he likes to be called lead pastor or senior pastor of Living Faith Lutheran Church at 142nd and Hickman. My personal friend, Luke Tim. I should have never admitted that. Now I'm in trouble. Anyway, he's going to be in, and we're going to talk about the fact that the world is not worse than it's ever been before.
Well,
is Jackie Gibson a racist by claiming, after being caught on video, texting and driving a what? A Subaru? No. Texting and driving what? A Ford? No. Texting and driving a school bus filled with children, that she was in fact fired, not because she was texting and driving. No, it's because she was black. 515-244-0077 or the Service Legends Truth text line at 515-809-0993.
Hey, Mac, you talked about it this hour. We would like to give away some tickets for golf. And we were talking about it in the break. We looked at each other and we said, do Christians play golf or is golf a sin? And I looked over and a pastor just walked in, so I'll shout over to the pastor. Do pastors play golf?
Only the ones who don't have enough to do during the day.
Well, there are stereotypes about pastors playing golf, and I know lots of Christian men and women that like playing golf. If you enjoy playing golf, I have a great opportunity for you and 3 of your friends to go spend a day at the beautiful Coldwater Golf Links up in Ames. This is a beautiful Scottish-style golf course. If you don't know what that means not a lot of trees, lots of rolling hills, absolutely beautiful. Up in Ames, that's Friday, May 27th. For you and 3 other people, You're going to get lunch, and it's a best shot foursome of golf. So that's what's nice about that is if you're a bad golfer like I am, all you need is one guy or gal that's good, and you can just chase their ball around and have a great time out on the course. So if you'd like to take you and 3 other people to go play golf Friday, May 27th at the Ames Christian School Golf Outing, all you need to do is be the 3rd person to call the studios right now, 515-244-0077. That number is 515-244-0077, and we'll send you and 3 of your friends to Coldwater Golf Links next Friday.
515-244-0077. Call in. We'll get you that golf trip. That includes 4 lunches, by the way. Not each person, but every person gets 1 lunch.
Oh, I don't get 4 for just me?
I knew you were thinking that. I knew you were. All right, on this topic, Jackie Gibson says she was fired, not because she was texting and driving a bus filled with kids, because she was, yes, in fact, she was black. Dan Foreman on Facebook says something I can't say. Pulling out the race card because you're an idiot and endangered children's lives, get out of this town. That's nonsense. Really? Okay, just thought I'd read that. All right, Bob, you have a text from the Service Legends Truth text line.
Yeah, it's about Bibles not allowed in school, but encouraged in prison. A little backwards. Sad.
Yeah, it seems that we'd put them where the kids were, so the kids don't grow up thinking that they're the only thing in this world. They're the only authority. They're the only thing on top. They're the only thing in charge. That, in fact, there is a creator who created you. He's the potter. You're the clay. And if we could teach kids this, maybe grades would get higher among all students and not just minorities. What is the deal? What is the deal right now? Do minorities believe that because Obama's about ready to leave office and there's currently not a black candidate out there, that they've got months to, is the clock ticking for them to get their final racist jab in before, the white man takes over or the white woman takes? I don't get this. I just don't get it. I've never understood racism until I was absolutely smack dab in the middle of it 15 years ago, and I was called a racist publicly, and in the end, it was proven it had nothing to do with race. It had everything to do with the actions of the deceased. So, if you're okay with me saying this, I know something a little about racism. 515-244-0077. Bob, do you have a Service Legends Truth text line open where somebody could send you a text?
Oh, yeah, they can. And here's another one talking about the bus driver. They're always the victim. The perpetrators always make themselves out to be the victim.
I want to echo that and say, when you go back, and I don't know if Jeb can go and play the video again, it'd be really great if you can actually hear the lady's testimony. Was the thing that
we can't do it right now. We're gonna have a break. No, go ahead. Jeb can do it. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't know if the phone calls are coming in.
He's
and all
on
that
the
kind
phone.
Of stuff. Okay,
he's on the phone to Daisha, his girlfriend.
But
hi, honey. What do you want to do this weekend? I don't know. Let's go horseback riding. Oh, that sounds like fun.
One of the things that I thought was hilarious about what she pointed out is that she said she definitely played the victim card all around, not just on race. She said that she has the hardest job in the Des Moines public school system, that being a bus driver is the hardest job. Those were her words. She also said that she's the best school driver that they ever had and that it's going to be their loss that they're losing her. And then she also played the victim card by saying that other people have done things wrong and they just get slaps on the hands. So what she did there is she minimized the egregious offense, right? She said texting and driving, that's not a big deal. People do bad stuff all the time. It's not a big deal. She also said she's the best and she's got the hardest job. That's classic victim language. If you're white, if you're purple, if you're blue, if you're from the planet Kalamazoo, it doesn't matter. If you talk like that, you're talking like a victim talks. And that stuff was quite comical to me. Almost literally fell out of my chair laughing.
Yeah, and I want to go on record. This is Pastor Luke. I'm not really in agreement with the two of y'all on a fair amount of this stuff. I don't disagree that it's a ridiculous claim that she's making. I think though that it's important to at least understand that the culture of victimization is one that has been created, and it has a racist background.
But it's not purely a color of skin issue, right? You can
Not anymore. No,
you can be a victim and be any particular ethnicity if you if you want to participate in the victim culture.
Yeah, that's why I don't really I don't employ that reverse racism. I think that's a bunch of bull. What it is it's opportunism. I mean, it is people who take advantage of. Unfortunately, in a really inappropriate way, take advantage of an ugly situation for their own benefit. It's opportunistic.
515-244-0077. Let's go to the phones where Stephanie is standing by. Stephanie, you're live in Mac's World. What you say?
You know, I understand that she thinks that it's all about racism, but it's like, why don't you think about the safety of the children in that bus? You have so many parents that are putting trust in every bus driver that, you know, you have their children's lives in that bus. It only takes one slip up. It only takes one mess up, one lousy text message to end up with a turned over bus and dead children. And I don't understand why she'd be that upset for being punished for something that severe. It is a big thing. That is one of the main reasons why we have deaths at all behind the wheel in general. And I fully support the idea of her getting fired for the severity of this issue, because it could cost lives, and not just hers, but also the children in that bus.
Yeah, and you just made me think of something, Stephanie. You're exactly right. I don't put kids on the bus anymore, and my grandkids don't ride the bus. But I can remember putting my kids on the bus, and you swallow hard, and you put the trust in the bus driver, because their little lives are in this guy's hands. And when she's caught texting while driving, and she was caught, she just denies that, she doesn't want to take responsibility for it? Maybe that's not the right thing to say. She just decides to play the race card.
But Stephanie's call was outstanding, and she brought something to light that I think is really important here. And I didn't pick up on this until Stephanie called in and made this comment.
That's because Stephanie's really smart.
Yes, she is.
I only have one dumb listener. Just one.
Yeah.
Everybody, all my listeners are very, very smart.
Now it's not you though.
Me?
No, all of our listeners just thought it's me. They're thinking me. Mac is talking about me. That's exactly what I would do. No. I'd be like, he's talking about me.
I'll give you a hint.
I would totally.
I'll give you a hint. He did call up today.
Yeah. Ends with a K, starts with an F, and in the middle there's a ran.
Uh-huh.
All right. Anyway, let's talk about this chick was unrepentant.
This chick.
The bus driver gal was unrepentant. Is that fair to say it?
We'll talk about it.
She didn't care that she put people's lives in danger.
Live here on The Truth. And later, Luke Tim, who is the pastor of Living Faith Lutheran Church, is going to tell us.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coach with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Rockton Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens. Rock on. This is Pat McManus for Rockton Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
Northern Lights Pizza, your home of the tasty crust. Our garlic butter sauce now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza.
Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live. From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
All right, 10 minutes before the top of the hour, 3:50, 18th day of May in the Lord's year 2016. I'm J. Michael McCoy. Back to the topic of self-inflicted racism. 2 examples right here now before us, but we want to announce the winner of our Ames Golf giveaway.
That's a drum thing, like your announcement.
Okay.
And I don't have gas. And the winner is... I don't know if I want to say his last name because I'll butcher it. Anyway, Chris. Congratulations, Chris was the 3rd caller. He and 3 of his friends are going to go play golf on Friday, May 27th at the beautiful Coldwater Golf Links in Ames at the Ames Christian School Golf Outing. They're going to have a wonderful time. Our radio station's been involved in that 5 years now. So quite awesome. It's a cool event. It's very fun. Nice time. Chris, have a great time, man.
All right, Luke Tim will be here next hour, and what are we going to talk about?
Yeah, I don't know. You always tell me like day of what I'm talking about.
I told you today. I told you at noon today.
Day of, right?
Well, day of.
Yeah. Something about how the world is going to hell in a handbasket and how I don't really think that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, we have this tendency, and I'm one of them. I'm guilty. Because of the access I have and you have, I don't have anything you don't have. Well, we all have access to news. That we somehow think that we've got these problems that the world's never had. Which bathroom to use? Am I gay or am I straight? Should I have my baby or abort my baby? Should I get mad and shoot somebody in the head because they make me mad? Should I protest down the middle of the street? Well, we happen to think because we can turn them on, 7, 8 channels right away. MSNBC, CNN, Fox, CBS, NBC, ABC. Just all over the place. That we somehow think the world is worse off. But it's really not. And historian and theological pastor Luke Tim will share that information with us later, and also a very exciting announcement about Paul, the Apostle Paul. So that's coming up next hour. 515-244-0077. So basically, we're talking about this woman, Jackie Gibson. You can see her on my Facebook page. You can see it on the Des Moines Register page. She's a black woman who was caught red-handed texting while driving an AE milk truck? No. A Ryder rental truck? No. A limousine? No. She was fired because she was texting while driving a school bus filled with your children. And she had the audacity to come out. It's on tape, baby. I can't make this stuff up. Saying she was not fired because she was texting while driving. She was fired because she was black.
And I tell you what, Stephanie called in the last segment before we went to break, and I was trying to articulate that her call really reminded me of one of the things, and Pastor Luke, you can speak to this. We talked about the victim culture here. This is more than just an issue of being a victim. Well, maybe it is just about being a victim, but one of the nasty things about playing the victim card on a constant, ongoing basis is it gives no room for you to repent or to recognize that you've done something terribly wrong. This gal Jackie here, this bus driver, didn't in the report show any signs of grievance that she was putting at risk all of those students. Sure. I don't know that it's crossed her mind. Now here, look, I am literally, I don't know if it's a pun. I'm the pot calling the kettle black, whatever it is, that analogy. I'm going to be a hypocrite here if I say she shouldn't be texting and driving. Chris Roloff shouldn't be texting and driving either, and I do it way too much, frankly. And
but I bet stop. You don't do it when your 8-year-old girl is in the back seat.
Right. I don't do it when I've got my daughter with me. I'm not doing it when I'm by myself, but still, that's still reckless because I'm her dad and she doesn't need to be without a dad, and I shouldn't be risking my life. But you think about the fact that we have...
Dude, have you seen the car you drive? You risk your life just by driving that car.
It's pretty bad. Anybody interested in donating a nice new vehicle to 99.3, you just let me know. I'd love to drive something nice and new. But anyway... That's a huge issue, and playing the victim card gets in the way of a humble life that says, "Hey, you know what? I did something wrong, and I need to say I'm sorry for that."
I like to be careful using that word repent. I mean, that's a word that we ought to be keeping in the context of a relationship to Christ. I mean, repentance outside of Christ isn't repentance. It's something very different. Just to keep the terminology square, what I think the issue is lack of accountability, and please don't hear me as trying to justify or defend this woman at all. But I can understand, I can appreciate the mindset, because we live in a culture that's constantly telling us it's not our fault. Constantly trying to say you've been a victim of. If you've been in a car accident, your back hurts, call 999. If you had a mesothelioma, if you've breathed air before, if you've walked down the street, you could be a victim of, and call and you should sue. And that's always your recourse, and it's never, ever, ever your fault. So we're cooked in this culture right now that spurns accountability. We don't want anybody to hold us accountable.
But doesn't the race component just make that all the much louder? I mean, if I were to play the victim card as a white male living in the United States, I could play the victim card and that would be just fine. But if I was a black woman, that's a double thing, right? I'm a woman and I'm black. Now I've got two things that are against me culturally, because the culture as a whole, society as a whole, says, hey, if you're a woman, you're oppressed just by nature of being a woman. It's a fact. You're oppressed. I don't agree with that, but I'm saying that's what the culture is saying. And then on top of that, if you're black, you're being oppressed. It's a given. So if you're a black woman, you're double oppressed from the second that you're born. And so you're put in a place of you are a victim and there's no way out of it. And I think that's a terrible lie that the culture is thrusting upon young black women.
But every great lie has this kernel of truth that from which all things germinate, right? So there is this sense of a cultural bias against women and against African Americans. That's a real thing. And the fact that the culture is still biased against them, the deck is still stacked against that culture, in a lot of ways is a every single day reality that they deal with. So again, I'm not saying that this is to justify her actions. I don't think she's being reverse racist, as we heard before. I don't like that term. What I think she's being is opportunistic. She is acting in a way that she's been taught since a young age is appropriate, which is already one of our issues, is why are we teaching people that it's appropriate to not be held accountable to your own actions? And she's coming from a place where she probably has experienced a great deal of racism in her life. And so this is more of a natural, sinful response, and that's it.
You know, I'll never forget this. I was interviewing a guy on the radio here, a black man, Jimmy, I think, or Johnny was his name, and he told me that he never had any sense of racism until he met another black family. His black family didn't talk about race, didn't talk about racism. Kind of a middle class family, and they just didn't get into that. Mother and father were both there. It was a good family, went to church, etc. It wasn't until he experienced other black families did he begin to experience racism. All right, just pray for her. Lord, just take care of Jackie Gibson. Have her be repentant so she knows her heart that you love her and that she doesn't need to lie. She doesn't need to lie. It doesn't help. Every sin begins with a lie. Don't forget that. All right, coming up next, Luke Tim from Living Faith Lutheran Church, and we have a Bible study on Wednesday noons. It's a genderless. No, what would it be? It'd be both genders included, any gender included.
Sure.
Boy and girl, whatever. We're in Corinthians, and we were in 7, and we started talking about how bad the world was nowadays. And Luke said, no, it's no worse than it's ever been, and maybe it's better than it's ever been. That'll be our topic at 4 o'clock after the Salem Radio Network News, here live in Mac's World. And thanks for listening to 99.3 The Truth.